So I am due to write my new time capsule, but what I write in it is like what I would write, and I wouldn't do 8,500 words. I'd just do 1,000 words written from me to me, because the more HSD spreads, the less likely somebody else is going to want to read it through 1,000 words. Wow. So HSD has spread so much among the people primates, the Homo communia, that if I get a girlfriend, it'd be like bestiality. I'd feel kind of guilty, right? Because the operating system wouldn't be human. It's pretty sad. So just looking at the Ottawa protests, well, let's say they would stick to one subject, like, an easier time for the truckers. Well, that's what your unions are for, by the way. And if your unions aren't doing a good job, take them to court. And hopefully that'll make them do better. But doing better, if they do, might not fit your redneck definition of what is good for truckers. Because what you need to learn is that other people exist outside of you, right? Being considerate of others. Redneckism leads towards egocentrism, so it doesn't work. So what is better for the masses, especially related to freedom, for example, has to be scientifically measurable to be good for the masses. So, all right, so that's it about the truckers. But do you know that if some of them lose their job, do you know that any political party in Canada that they think is good, although they're all the same, that they want to support, is most of them are looking for new MPs, and they allow rednecks as MPs. I mean, there's a majority of them already. So just pick, let's say, I don't know, you want to support conservatives because you can't make basic math add up in a future long-term scenario projection like conservatives can't, right? It's got to be short-term, and it's got to be the kind of math that makes a system that's about to crash kind of stand on wobbly legs a little bit more. Hey, I want to say about Pierre Poilievre. It's weird he's not in a psychiatric institution. But anyways, it's risky, Pierre, what you're doing right now to try to, with the crash that's coming, that your lack of systems thinking prevents you from seeing, it's risky that your family might lose a provider or a brainwasher as well. But let's say you see yourself as a provider. Well, you better get good life insurance that even includes acts of God as acceptable reasons to pay out a lot to your family. Because if you succeed at becoming prime minister, you don't realize that even if I put aside all of your dysfunctional proto-societies around the world, we don't include that. We just include the big ice shelves, ice sheets, ice melting scenarios. You're screwed. This is a part of history where you will, I wouldn't want to be prime minister with what's coming, especially somebody like you who doesn't seem to understand the science or physics behind the natural world. If I redid this time capsule thing, it would focus on the same thing I said 5 years ago, which is crashing a political system is not a good idea when you're all interconnected, right? All the parties are the same. Anyways, people think in flawed ways in all political parties in Canada or any countries of the world. And that means that what you need to do is, as quick as possible, but not rushed, you're right, it's not overthrowing, is introduce the sciences and a panel of a dozen or 13 specialists in various sciences, the physical ones and the social sciences, to replace the authority and the voting power to make choices in all governments of the world. So that means you rednecks, if you say, hey, you contact the Conservative Party, and they say, yeah, are you willing to bring your family in your truck to this community and apply because we'll support you, you'll get in as MP. Well, if you really are considering freedom and quality of life for everybody, then as that MP, you would also have to shift away from intellectual laziness equaling redneckism towards the scientific paradigms, because you'll have to try to get that power to shift over the next maximum 10 years. All countries that will be successfully able to mitigate things that are coming for generations and generations and generations, that are going to be worse than you can imagine because you're not systems thinkers, incorporating everything that's going to happen, is shift away. And that would be a successful career. That'd be the first politician in Canada that I would know about that would deserve a pension after they retire, if they survive their long, their 4 years, let's say, to get that pension. Because remember, you'd be surviving in a culture of rednecks with guns that you've helped create. That's a pretty dangerous thing. So Pierre Poilievre, I think you're just making ego-related decisions. You're not understanding that if you don't push your career in a way that will start supporting and learning about, you should be teaching people about basic science of what's coming with climate change and how economies have to shift faster related to mitigation, not status quo, not same as usual, nothing the same as usual, nothing at all. So you're not Alex P. Keaton that lives in a TV show called Family Ties. Pierre Poilievre, if you really want to take on that responsibility, show me signs that you will do this. You will have to learn a lot of these sciences and how they all kind of connect together. The physical ones of the earth, the biological ones of us and other life forms, and the social systems that will be crashing during your mandate. You need to understand this, but if you keep talking about status quo, it's pretty crazy stuff. And what's sad is you have a chance to win because crazy is what votes in most countries of the world that suffer from such things as a blend of capitalism and images of democracy. So without the scientific paradigms in any dominant political system, you are screwed. So you truckers that are looking for work, get a job. Any party will assist you. All you have to do is relocate through their funding. They'll support you. But then it has to be related to a shift of power to the scientists, who will also be held accountable in ways that you will determine over this 10 years. I'm telling you, you have less than 10 years really left to do this. And again, it's not to save you. It's to save your legacy.